Hello everyone, my name is Bhaskar. I am from India and I am a freelance technical writer. Welcome to my presentation on old and future industries for software developers in freelancing world. So before starting my presentation, let's go through the agenda for this session. It's like old is gold, whether it's still valid or not. It literally means we are going to discuss about the industries whose existence has been like more than 100 years and whether the old skills are still relevant or not. Next, I would be discussing about the future tech industries and those industries which are disrupting the economy. And last one is the cherry picked field for future, which means I am going to go in deep detail about one of the particular tech industries which I am quite a great fan. And last one is important resources. These will include the links to some of the valuable resources. So without wasting time, let's get started. Uh, a short brief about me. I have completed like BTech in mechanical engineering, worked for some time in manufacturing firm. Then joined Infosys in 2008. Then I joined IBM in 2000 December 2008. So this was quite a crisis, and everyone knows about 2008 financial crisis. So naturally, I was also means like kind of switching jobs, or means like due to lack of opportunities, there was a lot of chaos. So then I completed like 10 years in IBM, and in Jan 2019 I quit IBM to join Upwork as a freelancer. And since then I have been like doing technical write-ups, and I my some of the noteworthy clients have been Amazon Picture AZ, Rock Technology, and I give consulting to the clients on documentation that would be required for audit, development projects, API guides, end user guides, etc. So apart from technical writing, I am also into financial advisory, trading, and a part-time seed investor. So without further going deep detail about myself, let's focus on the main agenda of this presentation. So the first is like old is gold, whether it's still valid or not. So if we if I were to pick up some of the industries which have completed like more than 100 years of their existence, their business model is still relevant in today's world, and they are still continuing to employ millions of workforce across the globe. So some of these industries are like your insurance industries, finance industries, networking, cybersecurity, taxation, auditing industry, supply chain and logistics, television, media, data analytics, cloud computing. Some of them have been in existence like for a decade or so, but I have included them in the old is gold because if I were to compare, means like 2000 or 2010 era with 2020, then there is a stark difference in terms of rapid evolution of the technology. But these technologies are still going to stay here forever. Let's take an example of finance industry. And finance industry is a quite a broad topic, where means if I were to include firms or and categorize them, they would be like this: investment firms, then your trading firms, then your data analytics firms, uh, literally including your banking industry, your hedge funds, your stock market, stock exchanges, literally all the companies which are and organizations which are associated with dealing in finance as well as insurance come under this. And next one is networking. Since the day internet was born, we have networking, so it is going to stay here. It's not going to go away, and there will be a demand in great numbers for network engineers. And next comes the cybersecurity and forensics. It has grown in relevance, guys. So we can't ignore cybersecurity and forensics. as we are moving towards uh, more advanced tech, so are the your cyber criminals. They have update their games accordingly. This field requires a lot of people who have expertise in security, forensics. Next is taxation and auditing industries. So definitely wherever there would be a money flow, there would be taxes and there would be audit. So these guys build keep on building softwares which have to comply with various taxations, and some of them are like, for example, used for tallying, auditing, etc. So most common and quite popular software is Tally ERP. And then there are supply chain and logistics. These guys have means grown in quite bigger number. If we take a century of their transactions as well as dealings, and yet I would say complete statistics, then supply chain and logistics have grown quite large. And our today's economy depends on supply chain and logistics. This will include your agricultural supply chain, or your milk supply chain, or your fast fashion supply chain and logistics. So they are going to stay. Next is television media. So these guys have been like in the industry as long as the first television came into the picture, and they might have moved to OTT platforms, or over the uh, we might have got Netflix and your Amazon Prime, but still their relevance is but still they still hold a valued position in the market, and they are going to still employ people, and they are not going to be phased out easily. Next one is data analytics. Well, in today's world, we might have heard of new terms and technologies which are coming every day, like data science and your ML, AI. But data analytics is something which has existed even before the computer was born. If we pick up the history, then in old times there were statisticians and uh, tax collectors and all those. So every field required at least to have someone who could tally the data or create a record for those types of data, where they can present to their promising investors or the key stakeholders that this is the data coming out of the 10-year record or from this region, and we might need to deploy the projects there. So in today's world, definitely all data analytics related softwares as well as your uh, other relevant technologies would be required. So for that purpose, definitely there would be jobs. And last one is cloud computing. Yeah, it has existed since I think 2010s era. I would say that Amazon was the first company to launch cloud computing, but it has means like changed the way how development used to take place. Now everybody wants to have their infrastructure on the cloud, and no one wants to maintain take the headache of maintaining their local infrastructure. And because the pay as you go model has quite drastically reduced the cost of maintenance for the firms. So this industry has been growing and is employing more and more people day by day. So here are some of the skills that are still relevant in today's world, like for example C++. I would say this is most people say that C++ is the mother of all the languages, but yeah, it is still relevant in today's world, and it has where its uh, its programmers are always in great demand. So it is not going to go away any soon. Well, next is Java. I would say, guys, Java, although Java's application has shrunk as compared to because of JavaScript and your Python and other programming languages, but still Java is used for various banking transaction sites. In the back behind the scene, if you are transacting money and that transaction has to go through some thread safe program, that is Java. 90% of the banks still employ people who can write good Java code for only for transaction related queries or transaction related programs, whatever you want to call it. Next one is PHP. It's like old wine and it is still relevant. Still people rely on PHP to build their sites, and what's more, the WordPress has been built over on PHP. So PHP is still relevant. People will keep on building sites, websites, and PHP developer will always remain in great demand. The other scale is like database technologies. Yes, we do have NoSQL database, but still database is going to stay because some of the problems NoSQL database can't solve. The database technology uh, can provide solutions for these problems. And database, there are several job roles still relevant and still in great demand for the people who have got database knowledge. Next is web development. Yeah, web development will include your front end development, back end development, and nowadays there have been different job roles which are means required for web development. For example, full stack developer or front end engineer or front end developer and back end engineer or back end developer. You whatever job role you want to call it, they all fall in this category. So this is still relevant in today's world. And next is networking. I have already discussed about it. Then cybersecurity, ethical hacking. So these skills will be always in great demand. Next is testing. Yeah, whatever product or software you develop, you will require a tester to test those products and softwares. So testers requirement will always there. And of course, WordPress, it's the darling of almost every developer in the world, and almost all the small organizations or e-commerce sites use WordPress for quickly launching their sites. And yeah, that's it. And then one more is cloud skills, cloud-based skills. These can include your cloud architect, cloud developers, and main the most common still 70% of the organizations worldwide would I would say the old organizations are using mainframe as their main computer, and these skills are still relevant. COBOL, Fortran, CAKE, JCL, DB2, they are not going to phase out quickly. When I say 70%, these are the old industries which are like 50 years, 100 years old, and they are still like using mainframe. They are not going to switch over to cloud so easily because there is, I would say, millions of data that has been means like maintained by these machines since 1970s or 1980s, and migrating these data to cloud will take a huge time. So one quite example I would say is HSBC. They are still, I think, maintaining mainframe, and there are quite few other banks which are using mainframe. So this is in short are the skills that are relevant into still in today's world. And job roles. Yes, for if I need to specify the job roles which you can still find relevant in today's world is project architect, database architect, then front end developer, full stack developer, mainframe developer, tester, quality analyst, microservices developer, project delivery manager, technical writer. I already told you about my present job roles, and then business analyst, infrastructure engineer, and these are all which I have mentioned here. and these are still relevant in today's world. So if anyone is coming from the old school of software engineering, then they can use these skills for finding freelancing gigs, because in Upwork, if you search for these kinds of jobs, they are still present, and they do uh, provide gigs with this, I would say, decent pay rate, so you can search for yourself. Next, let's discuss about the future tech. Some of these industries are making news every day, and I have mentioned these here. So these are like education technology, green tech technologies, and industries that are fighting to save the planet. Then yeah, there is space exploration. Everyone knows about Jeff Bezos project, and how he went to the space along with the first old person to visit the space. And so in future we can expect space tourism to grow and employ people. So definitely all these technologies mentioned here require applications, websites, everything you can think of in software industry. This will include infrastructure, cloud infrastructure, as well as networking. So you guys can like start exploring these future technologies. And yes, old skills are still valid for these future tech, but in addition there are still new skills that you can means like add on to your uh, existing skill sets. So these will be determined or defined as these technologies, future technologies evolve. And some are quite known to you, some are new, and these include like your gene modifications, fintech, food tech, agri tech, water related technologies, quantum computing, edge computing. So some of these might require you to acquire new skill sets. Some of them in in some cases your old skills are relevant, while in some cases you have to combine your old skills along with the new skills to figure out the freelancing gigs or the jobs. So here's the list, further list, so you can go through them. And next is the potential skills that can matter. These are programming skills, big data skills, data science skills, drone technology skills. These might include your programming, that includes your normal web programming or your networking, and besides embedded programming, then testing skills like what I told you earlier, like if any product or software is developed, then definitely testers are required and QA analysts are required. So you can expect these kind of job roles to be created for these new drone technology and other future technologies. Then in space tech, these are some of the skills which I have figured out. But yeah, there could be more, because every industry defines their own job roles and skill sets. So these are some of the common which I thought that these will be relevant for these industries as well. For example, system integrator, then embedded systems programming, data science, AI, ML, big data, DV scales, and software developer. Your software developers for front end as well as for your back end, etc. Next is quantum computing skills. It's totally new field and new venture. Here means like you have, if you have got Python, C++, Java, then you can use these programming languages, as well as you need to learn more skills. In this case you have to combine your old skills along with the new skills to uh, and use them for your quantum computing related jobs or gigs. And these right now, for future tech industry, there might not be much of the jobs, or some might have, some might not have, but you can expect jobs to means like I would say jobs to increase in these industries. And if you are preparing right now or are better prepared for these industries, then you can tackle the challenges faced by these industries quite easily and quickly. So you have to keep looking for these and figure out which of these future tech industries you are comfortable with, or you would like to challenge yourself in these. So let's talk about the cherry picked industry for the future. This is my favorite, and this future tech industry is going to revolutionize the computing world, entire computing world, or I would say it can revolutionize. That would be the correct term because we are not sure of the future. So it's called quantum computing, and it will impact at a bigger level beyond what people could imagine. So I would say the QC evolution is quite comparable to the age when there were classical computers were evolving. And if you pick the time period when we had ENIAC model or those giant computers, it took 50 years for this evolution to make personal computers means like I would say personal computers to come into our home. So that was nearly 50 years. But IBM scientists and executives predict that evolution in quantum computing would be much faster, and it can take only 10 to 15 years to see almost every application using at least one process of quantum computing in the back end. And during the means like when these classical computers were invented and created or manufactured, whatever you want to call, people who were actually associated with them didn't know what would be the future prospect of these computers, or what would be the applications where these computers would be used. Today we know that classical computers are being used for every application today we can think of, whether we are doing online shopping or listening to music, or like booking our flight tickets. So their applications means like have penetrated in every aspect of our life. The same thing can be said about the quantum computers, because uh, I when I attended the course that was like organized by MIT, then IBM and Google, there means like their scientists and executives were saying that we don't know what quantum computer is capable of and what future applications we can have. So we are thinking and asking people to come forward. And it's not that you have to be an engineer or something like that, but every sphere people from every sphere of life can come forward and contribute to quantum computing development. So this scenario can be means again compared with the scenario when in the 80s or 90s musicians and people from other trade came forward. They gave their inputs and insights and developed uh, softwares and applications for their trade. For example, the musicians started composing music on the computers, and there were several softwares for music recording or your music playing, etc. So the same thing is happening right now in quantum computing. But again, people would be thinking, what is why so much stress on quantum computing and classical computing, and what is the difference between these two? To tell you the fact that quantum computing works on the principles of quantum physics. Now, you might be thinking that everyone must know quantum physics in order to work in quantum computing. That's not true. It doesn't really matter whether you know about quantum physics or not. But yeah, if you are willing to pick up some of the courses or some of the skills which are required for working in quantum computing, and you are willing to learn more about quantum computing, then definitely there is no hurdle here. You can work here. So so one of the biggest threats which quantum computing has created is for blockchain. It is believed because it's still in theory, that quantum computing can break the cryptocurrency implementation, and these crypto wallets can be easily hacked using quantum computing. So somewhere down the line there is a fear among the crypto enthusiasts that if quantum computing comes into the picture and someone develops or creates an application which can crack these crypto wallets or blockchain security, then it means the hype which has been created around cryptocurrency would vanish. So this is the biggest threat as of now what I can see. Then yeah, and classical computers work on 0 and 1. That is, we know how they work. Means either it has to be any value, uh, means any object or whatever you want to call it, variable would have a value of either 0 or 1. But in case of quantum computing, it works on qubit. It has like 0, 1, and combination of 0 plus 1. So this is totally different as compared to your classical computing. And yeah, let's talk about some of the myths about quantum computing. Sorry guys, because I am running out of the time, so I am hurrying quite fast and not giving detailed explanation of quantum computing. But uh, let's talk only about the main points. So quantum computing myths, only it here are some of the myths which are still existing in the market, like it is suitable only for the people who have physics and mathematics background. QC will completely replace the classical computers and QC will solve all the problems. That's not true. The first one is, as what IBM executives have told me in their opening lectures, that we want people from every sphere of life to come forward and develop applications or help in developing applications that would be used in future, for example music or weather forecasting or driving, etc. Second is, classical computers are going to stay. We I am not sure about the future how the quantum computing applications would be developed, or whether we could have a sorry, excuse me, we could have personal quantum computers. I am not, I don't know, because it's in future and who has seen the future. And last one is, quantum computer will solve all the problems. That's also not true. Well, quantum computers can solve those problems which classical computers can't. And there is a limitation. For example, calculations involving astronomical figures, where means classical computers can take like 24 years or 24,000 years. Quantum computers can do it in 5 minutes. That's the difference. I think that's the rough calculation which I got. I'm not sure about the exact figures, but yeah, this is somewhat the stark difference that was being discussed in the one of the community groups. So that's how uh, means like quantum computers will work. And next is, these are the some of the organizations which are deriving the revolution in quantum computing. One is IBM, Google, Microsoft, Riverlane, and uh, these are the categorizations which I feel that quantum computers would have or should have or are having. Like one is research and development industries. These are the organizations which are engaged in research and development of quantum computers and relevant fields. So, for example, if under this categorization, I would keep IBM, Google, and Microsoft, as well as D-Wave systems. Then next comes the manufacturing industries. These are the industries which are associated with manufacturing of quantum computers, like your production, quantum computing parts, or their means like research for means like I would say servicing, service providing companies which are providing the services for quantum computers. Right now, as of now, what I have seen is like Microsoft, Google, and IBM are providing their quantum computing services, including the D-Wave. Last one is product and application developing industries. These are the small industries which are like using these services or the quantum computing project from these IBM and Google for developing their applications and using for their future projects. And these are the key projects which are right now being developed in quantum computers. These include cybersecurity, drug development, etc. So you can go through them. And this is a project which is being developed by Volkswagen, and they have developed some in a project in mobility where they have designed the real-time traffic routing system which is relying on quantum computers. And some of the new fields which I feel means like will be engaging quantum computers are security, communication, AI, ML, cryptography, music, space exploration, because here uh, they will be taking help of quantum computers alongside with your classical computers or only of quantum computers to crunch on data or means like solve the problems where classical computers are failing. So here is a sample uh, job skill sets and career roles and what to expect. This is from the IBM. They have put forward what is required. So you can see that some of the old skills are relevant for the job role only for quantum computers. Here you can see that like compiler design or your programming languages such as Python, C++, and firmware engineering, then your DevOps, security, cloud services, and API. So, guys, you need not to be means like knowledge need not to possess the knowledge in quantum computers. If you have DevOps skills, jump in search for jobs or freelancing gigs where they are looking for DevOps guys only to develop infrastructure or applications for your quantum computers. So there you need not to know anything about quantum computers, which I feel. But yeah, it's like if you are at least possessing some knowledge, or then it can come handy, but otherwise it's kind of optional. In, for example, API development, you need not to know in deep detail about quantum computers. So but if you are keep having a knowledge or you are upgrading yourself, then you can develop more applications. So that is how I see. So this one is from Riverlane. So this job posting is still running and is still valid as of recording this video. So you can go through the job requirement on the Riverlane site. So Riverlane is a UK company and they are working in the field of quantum computing, and they have been hiring people. And I think for past 2 3 years only in the field of quantum computing, and they keep on posting new job roles for quantum computing related fields. And some more job roles which I have seen or come across in various sites these: senior tech leader, algorithm developer, OS developer, infrastructure developer. So and these are the courses offered on quantum computing, and uh, you can check out these courses on Coursera, EDX, as well as NPTEL site. And MIT X Pro course is there, but it's quite costly. And then I had completed my course from Qubit by Qubit. So you can go through this site, and they have got very good means like content, as well as the lecturers are from MIT, and course instructors are from MIT and IBM. So they have got means like they clear the concepts from basics towards the advanced, and you can go through definitely. And there are and more courses are coming these days, and these are some of the books you can refer. So these books you can means like get in Amazon and go through them. So these are the some of the useful resources which I find quite helpful. The first one is lists all the freelancing sites across the Europe, and that includes the country wise. And next one, everyone knows Upwork, and this is contently.com. This is your I use it for creating my portfolio of work, and Andas is another freelancing site. Then this is ET Zurich's quantum computing site, and then there next one is the site QOSF.org, which lists all the projects related to quantum computing. Last one is my Telegram channel, where I continuously post any opportunity which I come across to. It it includes like your jobs or your postdoctoral research or your research assistant or webinar or seminar or any educational course, whatever comes which I come across, I post it here, so you can join me there. So thank you. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them. You can post it in the channel, and in the channel Freelance for Business Community. So I would be happy to answer them. Thanks a lot for listening to me.